Welcome back to 24 Sports on Transfer Deadline Day. I'm Nick Walters.
And I'm Julian Matthews. Stay tuned for the latest developments regarding Brian Horton's face and why Keith Chegwin's move to Rangers could be in jeopardy.
We go first to our main story, and it seems that Ronaldinho is on his way to Everton in a bizarre move. Milan have reportedly accepted a bid of £2 million plus Tony Hibbert in what has been described as a catastrophic administrative error by 24's Italian expert Pierluigi Diabrazzo.
The offer was lodged, it seems, partly in jest by Everton chairman Bill Kenwright, and there was said to be widespread disbelief at the club when the offer was accepted. It seems that Kenwright's call was mistakenly transferred to the San Siro groundsman, who could not speak a word of English and accepted the proposal. Sources close to Milan president Silvio Berlusconi have told me that his reaction was surprise, then resignation, going as far as to muse, well, what can you do, despite the deal being very much far from complete, and there still being every opportunity for him to intervene. Even at this point, Nick, or even right now, he could do something to stop the deal.
Well, Hibbert has arrived at Milan airport and reportedly took this opportunity to announce his gayness to the assembled media.
Yes, Hibbert told reporters, "I'm delighted to be here at Milan, but even more delighted to announce my man preference." When asked about the quality of the flight, Hibbert said, "We were delayed for 4 hours, the in-flight meal was average, and the movie was Beethoven. You know, the one about a dog."
Well, on to other news now, and Frank Ribery has denied that there is already a deal in place between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich that would see him leave for Spain next summer. Ribery has also denied the existence of ghosts, the consent of gay marriage, and footballer Chris Eagles. In fact, speaking of Chris Eagles, you may remember we raised the story earlier that the player was due to hold talks with Ipswich Town, but he has been reported as missing. Well, Paul McCartney has been in contact with us and has sent us a short cryptic message in relation to Chris Eagles' whereabouts.
This is Paul McCartney saying this is where Chris is at. This is where it's at, Chris.
Well, if anyone has any theories on that clip or anything in relation to Chris Eagles' disappearance, remember you can send us your text and emails to the show.
Elsewhere, Stoke City have completed the signing of Henri Camara on loan from Wigan. Camara said, "I am happy to be at Stoke City. This is a great club with great supporters, and I love Pretty Woman with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts." He revealed that he is particularly looking forward to working with Nelly Furtado at the Britannia Stadium.
Well, if we look at Camara's fact files, 20 goals from 69 appearances for Wigan Athletic, but only 4 car accidents, and questions have been raised about Camara's teeth.
Remember in our ongoing story, Brazilian international Jose Eduardo Alfresco Sobrinho de las Fuerzas Silva da Rocha, or Alan, due to fly into Manchester today for a medical at Manchester United, and he is due to land just about any minute now, so when that story breaks we'll have it for you right here on 24 Sports.
Harry Redknapp is on the verge of becoming Arsene Wenger. 24 sources say that the line between the two managers is becoming increasingly blurred, and that Redknapp is expected to arrive at Wenger's North London home later on this afternoon, where the transformation will be complete. And again, this is only speculation at this stage, but we understand Arsene Wenger is currently at Arsenal's Hertfordshire training ground, saying his goodbyes to the players he has managed since 1997.
And more bad news for Arsenal, and their attempts to sign Brede Hangeland have suffered a new blow. Fulham are said to be holding on to the player and will not let him go. The player aims to travel to the Emirates this afternoon, but he is currently being restrained by staff there at Craven Cottage, maybe a sign that player power is suffering.
Although conversely, we've heard in the past few minutes that Richard Dunn is holding Manchester City to ransom over his proposed move to Aston Villa. Dunn is in what would be his testimonial year and says he is entitled to £1 million compensation. The club have rejected his claim, but now the player says if the club do not offer him the money, he will give away a secret that Manchester City told him at the back end of last season. Dunn did promise Manchester City that he would keep that secret, but now is threatening to break it should he not get his wish. Okay, it's time now to have a look at the Mike Newell popularity scale. James Lambert, our travel correspondent, is here to read that now. James, what can you tell us about Mike Newell's popularity right now?
Well, Julian, we believe that Mike Newell just this morning uncovered a number of shady deals by agents who have gained over 10% on transfer deals made in League One, and Mike Newell's credibility increased for at least an hour, but that was dented somewhat by reports that he was seen looking fairly intimate with a woman who was not his wife, which put Newell below the line of respectability. And this was compounded further when he was seen kicking the nose of a spring Springer Spaniel in Grimsby Town Centre, so Mike Newell's popularity waning. It's important to remind listeners that the scale is based on statistics taken from a national poll of Lithuanians based on whether or not they want to join the European single currency, though, James. The question asked was nothing to do with Mike Newell. Is Mike Newell even Lithuanian? Who knows? Well, that's our new poll. Is George Michael gay? A, yes. B, John Drummond. Polls are closed. 0 votes cast on that one. Interesting. So the answer is C, mystery tennis.
Well, some messages here coming in regarding the Chris Eagles situation. Remember, the player is currently reported as missing. Terry Gittles has sent us an email which says, if you play the end of I Am the Walrus backwards, you can hear in the background the voice of John Lennon saying Chris Eagles is no longer. Well, let's just see if we can hear that. If you have any more leads, remember, do get in touch with us. That's Chris Eagles, reported missing, presumed dead.
Well, not a great day for Portsmouth so far. They've lost Nico Cranchar, David James and David Jason, 3 of their best players, while they've been so far unable to add to their squad as manager Paul Hart would have wanted. And also, they've gone out of existence and their stadium has been demolished and replaced by a housing estate. They'll be hoping they can salvage something before the deadline at 5 o'clock.
Aston Villa are close to signing James Collins from West Ham. Collins has been sent for a medical with Bupa. Villa say they're keen to save money on the transfer. It's said to be in the region of around £5 million, but they've also agreed to buy £60 worth of raffle tickets. And the raffle will be drawn at the bowling ground at around 5 o'clock tonight when the deadline passes. Villa said to have high hopes for the main prize there, a hamper of shortbread. Incidentally, they have rejected the inclusion of Nigel Quasi as part of the overall deal on concerns over body image.
Well, an update over the situation at Pompey. More bad news for them in the transfer market. They've been asked to beg for Tel Ben Haim if they want to sign the player from Man City. The defender has been subject to some disorientation by the club. Even now, Ben Haim is reported as lost. He's took the M27 on his way to Portsmouth, but apparently the wrong postcode has been entered into his sat-nav by manager Mark Hughes, and Ben Haim faces a race to reach Portsmouth before that deadline, which remains doubtful, as Portsmouth have so far failed to get on their knees in agreement to Manchester City's proposal. Portsmouth manager Paul Hart says Mark Hughes has been most inconsiderate during this transfer. Not only has Hughes failed to reply to pick up his phone, but he has also made a number of threats to his family, set off stink bombs at Fratton Park, and been a general pest to Paul Hart's neighbourhood watch team. Hart is currently applying to put an ASBO on Hughes, though that may dash any hopes he has of signing Ben Haim. So Hughes at the moment getting away with it.
Rangers are poised to sell Chris Boyd to Aston Villa, but the player is said to be too shy to hold talks with the club. His agent is currently trying to persuade the player, and he's been sent on a personal development course, which ends at 3 o'clock today. He'll then have 2 hours to complete a move should his confidence have improved to the required amount.